are here with a familiar face right now. This is food allergy specialist Tracy Bush. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me as always. I love it here.
Absolutely. Well, we love having you on the show. But for any of our viewers who have never seen one of our interviews with you, can you give us a little bit of background information about yourself?
Sure. I'm a food allergy consultant. I do consulting. I recently put my book on my website on Amazon, The Stepping Stones to Food Allergies. It's a great resource guide for the beginning stages of food allergies. It's got everything that I wanted in the very beginning stages. I also do product reviews. I'm on Facebook. I have a website, obviously a blog. I do a little bit of everything.
Fantastic. Well, you're here today talking with us about this very neat product. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, someone recently introduced me to Di Fratelli. They came out with a line of what they call Truly. It's basically, instead of your canned tomatoes, which I shy away from canned vegetables because of all the studies about the chemicals and the BPA and everything. But they mentioned this to me and they said, hey, this is a great product, try it. And I'm like, And then I turned around in the store and there it was. And I said, you know what? It's in a carton that's recyclable. I looked on the website, I liked their information, and I figured, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. And I have the time to cut up vegetables, but there are people that don't have time to cut up vegetables.
Right.
So at least if it's something reputable and better for the environment and us as well, then it's something you can definitely use.
Fantastic. Now, talk with us a little bit about specifically what this product is, how it tastes, what's in it, all that good stuff.
Okay. Well, the Truly line, they make other products. It's they're based out of Toledo, Ohio.
Okay.
They do have other products, pizza sauces, salsas, sauerkraut, things like that. But this Truly line is basically diced tomatoes and tomato juice. Like I said, the carton is recyclable, which is great. There's some plain tomatoes in there, but there are also one or two with some spices mixed in together. So if you were making, say, chili or something that you just wanted to throw something in, it's all in there and you're done.
Perfect.
Right.
So how did you come up with this?
Well, like I said, someone introduced me to the product, and me, I like to come up with different ideas on what you can do with foods.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm saying, okay, what can I do with a tomato that's not your typical tomato? And I said, kind of thinking out loud, I said, it's too bad I can't find a dessert recipe with a tomato. And then I remembered this wonderful book, Thunder Cake, by Patricia Polacco, that I always read with my daughter. And in the back of it, there's a recipe for Thunder Cake. And for the longest time, she said, Mom, we really need to make this cake. We need to make this cake. And it's got tomato in it. Okay. So I took the original version and kind of revamped it to make a gluten-free version. It's dairy-free. It's it's a little bit less on the, we used honey instead of sugar. It does have eggs in it, but it came up pretty decently. And she was excited to help me make it, and we got to use the tomatoes, and it all worked out.
All right, so we've got Thunder Cake cupcakes here today.
Yep.
Now, what exactly is in a Thunder Cake cupcake?
Well, we have some gluten-free all-purpose flour. Instead of using shortening, as the original recipe said, I kind of sliced it in half. I used an all-vegetable shortening mixed with pureed avocado, which made it look kind of funky when I was mixing it, but I'm like, I'm just going to go with it.
Just going to try it.
Tomato, there are a few other things in it, but really it's a very basic, easy cake to make. We used chocolate chip cookies that were allergy-friendly instead of the cocoa, as in the original recipe. And it was, it was actually really, really easy and fun to make.
Well, they look delicious, smell delicious.
Thank you.
Now, has the family tried these yet?
We have, yes. Yeah,
So
I wanted to
hit.
try it before I brought it up. I said it would be the worst if I brought it up, and it was terrible tasting.
So what did everybody think?
Everybody loved it. My son couldn't have it because it had eggs in it, but I made something else for him, so he was happy.
Oh, perfect.
Sounds good. So gluten-free, we want to kind of tie this in a little bit with Autism Awareness Month, which is the month of April.
Yes.
Talk with us a little bit about autism and how diet does play into that.
Well, again, back when I lived in New Jersey, I had the great honor of working for a doctor who dealt with a lot of autistic children and children on the spectrum. And I saw firsthand how diet really, truly did affect their behavior. Out of all of the allergens that are floating around out there, I would say definitely gluten is the top, and casein. And, I saw a lot of these parents removing gluten from their diet, and the behavioral, disruptions that were going on lessened. Even in, people that I've consulted with, as soon as they say they take gluten out of their diet, they say that they feel more energy, they feel that they can focus a bit more. So it definitely affects your diet, especially with autistic children, though, because they do have something called leaky gut. and that's when they can't properly digest the proteins.
Right.
So when you're not digesting everything, it affects your brain function. It's going to make you feel icky, and that's just their way of expressing how their body is reacting to it.
So is tomato good for autistic?
Well, they're gluten-free,
Okay.
which is helpful.
Yeah.
It's also got lycopene in it, which is studies have shown helps fight cancer. Vitamin C. Vitamin C is always good. So.
Yes, definitely. So there's so many different things that you don't realize what can really help that.
Absolutely. And I love how delicious these look. They don't even look healthy, but they are. They're so healthy, it sounds like. Well, this is fantastic. Now, any tips for anyone who is starting a gluten-free diet? How does that work? I would imagine it's a little tricky if you're a beginner at this.
It can be a little tricky. Obviously, you're welcome to go purchase my book. It's very helpful at my site at allergyfoods.com. But the best piece of advice I can really say is go out and utilize products that are, great allergy-friendly products, reputable companies. Read your labels. Obviously, the best thing would be to make something fresh, from scratch. But beginning stages, it's very tricky. I don't want to overwhelm people. It's, if you kind of ease into it by starting out with those products first and then branching in a little bit more when you're comfortable, I think that's the best thing.
Okay, sounds like a great plan. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Tracy. Another
Thank you.
great recipe. Now, is this recipe on your website?
I shared it yesterday, but I'm going to reshare it today on my Facebook page. Yes.
Perfect. All right. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be making these cupcakes here pretty soon. But thank you so much for coming in, and we will look forward to your next visit.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And we will be back right after these messages with more of the Mountain Television Network.